Hey, what is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at HBAR, which is currently up 3.5%. The entire market is seeing a good move to the upside. We had Bitcoin today hit over $97,000. It has come down ever so slightly, but this is overall a good sign. Now we're going to be jumping into exactly where I think HBAR and a few of the altcoins as well could be going. But before we do so, make sure you guys go check out the Discord down below. You can see on the screen right now just how many trades our members have been winning from simply joining up and starting to copy and paste the trades that we're sending out to them every single day. We've had over an 85% win rate. The trades have been crushing it. The members have been loving it. It's going to be the first link in the description. So yeah, make sure you join up. Super easy to do so and even easier to copy the trades along. Now back to the video. So yeah, overall the market is back trending upwards. We haven't had any major news yet, but everything's gearing up for a May interest rate cut. So yeah, it's I think looking quite good in terms of that. But the key thing to remember is obviously everything's being priced in. So if we do get the cut, then this move sort of already prices it in. But what it doesn't fully price in yet, in my opinion, is going to be the sort of snowball effect that happens afterwards, which, you know, Trump will be able to negotiate the tariffs way more leniently, as a lower interest rate means that the US can borrow more money instead of having to generate more money. So that way he can, you know, be a bit more lenient with the tariffs. I don't think he'll fully, you know, demonetize the tariffs. I think there will still be a few, but I think, you know, it won't be in the hundreds of percent as it is now. And that will obviously have a positive impact for the economies of US, China, Europe, and again, that will just further spiral the snowball upwards. Now, specifically with HBAR, to quickly recap how we've been accumulating, our initial sort of accumulation was at 22 cents, and then secondly at 18 cents, and our average entry is like 18.5, 19 cents because we went in so heavy at 18 cents. We did have a third level, which was right here at 12 cents. However, it wasn't here. We got very close right here, but just ever so slightly edged our entry and we didn't really get it. However, you know, that's still okay. The market reversed back up. We're sort of back at break even, just depending on how heavy you went into that second entry. And we're still targeting the highs here at 40 cents for like a 2.2x, which I think is very attainable. You know, previously here where we got our entries hit, a lot of good news came out for HBAR. Specifically, there was a payment partnership, there was ETF news, you know, being released. Lots of good news. We pumped up 50%, and this was during a relatively terrible market state. Not quite as bad now, but you know, there it was also not great. Now, if we get, you know, whilst we're starting to trend back up, if we get any of those sort of updates, partnerships, news re-released or new ones released, I think we'll see another bump in price, maybe 50-60%, and then we'll already be halfway there to the 40% mark. Now, this isn't even the all-time high on HBAR. The all-time high is at nearly 60 cents, which would give us a 3.2x. And again, with momentum, I think it's very possible to hit. You know, we hit it in 21, and HBAR wasn't as advanced as it is now in 2021. We didn't have ETFs. We didn't have all these Swift partnerships. So yeah, I think the project is overall a lot better, and we have the potential now to really, you know, continue going up. The S&P also, again, the S&P directly correlates to Bitcoin and how crypto moves. You know, we're seeing the S&P now claw back. Bitcoin also started to claw back, albeit, you know, Bitcoin really started to moon up a lot more. Now, this is good for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the S&P indicates how the US economy is mostly moving, and it wasn't looking that good here at 4.8k. It looks like we could even go to 4.67, 4.68 right here, but it has managed to claw its way back. If we do end up dropping slightly again, we're probably going to go to like 5.4k. Again, all depends on how the FOMC meeting goes, which I think is going to be in around 2 weeks, and we're going to make a few videos on that as the time approaches. Now, a few of the altcoins I'm going to be taking a look at this week include XRP. Again, really nice moving coin, consolidates really well. So if you're looking for, you know, supply and demand sort of trades, XRP is great. Once news does come out though on XRP, it really moons, so just be careful of that if you are entering shorts. Right now it's just sort of consolidating between 0.236 and the 0.386 area here on the fib. Yeah, not really much to say on XRP. It just sort of moves zigzaggy until we get some news, and then it really starts to pop off. Sui, another great coin that I really like, currently up 70% from our entries here. Yeah, performing really well. Not much to say. Amazing team on Sui. This is going to perform incredibly during the run. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a double digit soon, which means over $10. Yeah, I think it's a really, really good coin. We're going to be breaking all-time high relatively soon if the market is going to continue going like this. It's already done a 70% move and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Render is another great coin, which I think is extremely, extremely undervalued and underappreciated. You know, it's just a matter of time before we start getting more render news, and not just render news, but also people buying into render. Again, you know, this coin should be really way over $20. It's got an amazing team behind it and the project is even better. So yeah, if AI is still going to be the narrative and we're going to get some good news, I think you're going to see render really, really pop off. We already hit $13-14. I think we're going to see over 20 as well during the run. Polkadot, another coin I talk about a hell of a lot. Yeah, you know, we've been accumulating under $4, slightly over $4 now. We're still going to be targeting roughly $11 for like a 3x. We made a video on Polkadot yesterday, so yeah, if you're interested in that, go check it out. And if you're a altcoin, Solana performing relatively well. You know, going to be looking to sell most of my bag, hopefully in the mid 200s, 230, 240, 250, 260 maybe, somewhere around there. ETH, again, really, really undervalued. This has a lot of potential to, you know, do a 2.6x back to 4K. Heavily invested by a lot of institutions, but not getting that much ETF inflow just yet. This will be getting ETF inflow. If you haven't noticed yet, the way these ETF investors work is they don't buy the dip, they don't sell the top, they move with momentum. What that means is when we're starting to move up heavily in an uptrend, that's when they start buying. You know, if we get like a 10% up day, next day they're gonna buy, and that's just usually how they operate. If we get a 10% down day, next day they're gonna sell. Simple as that. They sort of move more like retail investors than retail investors themselves. Retail investors more so are trying to buy the dip, sell the top, sell the top. So yeah, that's why we usually get caught out when we try and do so. However, if you try and do it intelligently like me, where we DCA down instead of just, you know, buying one dip and calling it quits there. You know, we started buying Ethereum at 2.1k, then 1.85k, then 1.6k. Now we're sitting at slight profits, and the institutional investors, if they were trying to accumulate now, again, they're going to possess a, well, they're going to be like a 16 to 25% risk. We didn't really possess that because we had a DCA strategy. So yeah, if you want to learn more, again, check out the Discord down below. Super easy to join up. First link in the description. If you did enjoy the video, please do make sure to like and subscribe, as it does help out a ton. And if you need a place to actually buy, sell, or trade cryptocurrency for the lowest fees with the best sign up bonuses, then check out all the exchanges we're working with down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.